So today I'm going to make a case for the FujiFilm X-T30 coupled with the 18 to 55mm lens for video and vlogging for an all-round. So I think if you buy this camera, I think your first lens should be the 18 to 55mm, especially if you're a hybrid shooter, video and photo. So firstly, let's talk about settings. You firstly, especially if you're vlogging, you're going to want to shoot in 1080p because that 18mm, although it is wide, this is an APS-C sensor, so it's not full frame like your typical Canons that everybody's using, or the Sony a7 III. It's an APS-C sensor, so it crops your video, and so an 18mm compared to a full frame is zoomed in. So you're going to want to shoot in 1080p, especially when you're vlogging. That's something that I don't know why, I just kind of clicked the other day. It's one of the reasons why I bought my Samyang 12mm was to get that wide shot in 4K. But yeah, if you're happy to just shoot in 1080p, you're going to get that wider angle, and then when you have to, you can switch to 4K. 4K is amazing on this camera, by the way. Yeah, coupled with the stabilization on the lens, I'm holding it handheld. I'm a bit shaky today. I think it's just because I'm like, I need to get going, and I don't know how the footage looks right now, but I don't use much post-processing to stabilize, and that's why I rely so much on the IBIS on my FujiFilm X-H1. But anyway, this has got great stabilization built into the lens, and yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know about the settings. The X-T30 does all the way to 200 megabits per second in 4K. I think you can do, my X-H1 doesn't do, this is a little like technical tip, doesn't do 200 megabits per second in 1080p, but the X-T30 does. I'm not sure, it's some weird thing, but the X-T30 does 1080p in 200 megabits per second, so you can get pretty decent 1080p out of this camera. Yes. It's all coming to me while I'm here, so I'm just going to tell you. The other thing about this camera, which I love for video, is that it has two lovely front-facing microphones, and the more I use it, I have a very expensive onboard microphone for my FujiFilm X-H1. My FujiFilm X-H1 also has lovely onboard sound, but if I speak directly to this camera, it is really decent audio, and that makes it a great vlogging camera if you have a stabilized lens, because you don't necessarily need a microphone, and that's quite a big deal. So now today I'm running around, I need my X-H1 for something else, just going to talk to this camera. Great solution. So the reason this is a great solution for hybrid shooters is firstly you've got the stabilization, which is a win definitely, and then it's got the perfect focal length range, so you between 18 to 55. The 55 sets at about 4 f4, so you're not getting incredible bokeh effect like background blur on it, but you can work with it. So I'm going to do a bit of B-roll, because the other thing is you've got 120 FPS on this camera, so you can do slow motion. So I've been all over the place with this vlog, but here are the main key factors to why I think the X-T30, even with that very shaky footage when you're walking, because it's only the stabilization in the lens, here's why I think it is a great option. Firstly, it's those front-facing mics. It's so much easier to lug a camera around without microphones and all that kind of thing. At the end of the day, a mic is better, but it really does have good preamps and good onboard microphones. The stabilization on the Fujifilm 18 to 55 is brilliant, and the autofocus, I can't, unfortunately that's one of the big downsides, is there's no flip out screen, but the autofocus should be working pretty well. I'm in a well-lit room, and it does eye tracking in video, so your autofocus is almost always bang on when you're vlogging and when you're creating video. So that is also a huge bonus. And the other big factor is it's a tiny body. You know, I use my X-H1 because of the IBIS, and I want quality video no matter where I go. And besides not having in-body image stabilization, the X-T30 has everything the X-H1 has and then some. So that's why so many people are raving about this camera. It's a great deal. In South Africa it's 14,000 Rand. I'll put the dollar value up here. Plus the lens, you can get it for almost around the same price. I'll put the prices up as I'm speaking. So yeah, that's my case for the X-T30 with the 18 to 55mm lens. Just an all-round brilliant package. So if you are getting started and you are planning to do video and photo, I would highly recommend getting this camera with the 18 to 55mm lens. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video. Please share it with your family, friends. See you in the next one.